What's happening, nerds? It's your boy Tom 20 Twizzle and the Hizzle. What was Hizzle? So we have some interesting things going down. White people are still killing black people. It's a fact. Let's not ignore it. I got the sniffles too. You have people actually saying that racism is dead. But yet you still got Dylan Roofs out there who are just killing black people. You don't see black people just going and slaughtering a bunch of white people. Just walking into a grocery store or a church or a school and just shooting up a bunch of black people. Specifically black people. You do not see this, but yet you see white people just going and offing black people, and then people saying, hey, that guy is a lone wolf. No. That guy was sent there by an organization that was hired. That kid was hired to go and shoot black people. That's what happened when they went up and, shot up that grocery store. That kid was hired by probably the oil companies because they wanted to shoot that security guard because he figured out how to, manipulate gas to where he doesn't need it for his vehicle. He was using water. And he put it on YouTube and they targeted him and paid that kid a bunch of money, and boom. Hell, listen, I don't even think that kid's in jail. I'm just going to be real with you. They went through the kangaroo courts and all this other stuff to satiate and placate us. But I bet that kid is in another country right now. Bet 10 to 1. 10 to 1, that kid is not, is not. That kid is not in jail. 10 to 1. Anyway, so we had a man recently decided to shoot a black woman through his doorway and killed her. We have the Neely case. Dude's on the subway and he's asking people for food because he's hungry. And we have Danny, Goodfellow, the veteran Marine, and two other guys who hold this guy down and choke and kill him. And everybody, they sent $2 million to defend this white guy because, people were like, wait a minute, this is 100% murder. Jordan Neely was murdered. And they're like, yeah, this guy, he was bothering people on the subway. He was a threat. He did nothing to threaten your life. There's nothing that homeless guy did to say, yeah, we should kill this man because he's a threat to our life. There's nothing he did. He asked for food. Then they try to bring up his record. He went to jail 40 times. He went to jail 40 times on 40 misdemeanors. And just, a letter to some of you goofy people out there. Whenever a homeless person goes to jail that many times, it's because they want to be there. You get 3 hots in a cot. So let's not misunderstand what happened there. But if you put somebody in a chokehold for a certain amount of time, if you cut off their airways and this chokehold will kill this person, then you intentionally killed them. Eric Garner was intentionally murdered by the police. And so moving on in Florida, we have a case where a woman, a mother of 4, got into it with a neighbor, and the neighbor was a white woman, or is a white woman, who had some type of discrepancy with the children, with the black woman's children. And the kids were playing or whatever, and this white woman, did not like it, came out and words were exchanged. Something was thrown at the kids. So the kids was, trying to figure out what her problem was. And then the mother stepped into it when she found out what was going on, as she should. and went over and knocked on the door. Was like, "Hey, come on out here and let's talk about this." And banging on the door, and the white woman, can't defend herself physically, but yet she can pick on a child. She hits the child with something first, and that's why the mother went over there fired up, because you hit her child. You threw something at her child and hit her child. And then, so the white woman opens up behind closed doors, opens fire, and cowardly shoots and kills this woman with one shot. She does not get arrested until there's outcry, like all of these cases where white people are killing black people. And then there's outcry. Then they go and finally arrest this woman, of course, to save face. And they want to call it second-degree murder. No, that's first-degree murder to me. Now, I'm no lawyer, so, somebody will break down what first-degree murder is if you kill somebody intentionally. And to me, in both of these cases, or in any case, if you shoot somebody from behind, closed door, you're aiming to kill them. Now, who am I? Just another nerd on, YouTube who's nobody's listening to, but somebody might come along and listen to this a little later. So I'm not going to be on that long unless people join in the conversation. But nonetheless, so the woman was shot once and died from it. They finally arrest this woman, and they finally arrest the shooter. And of course, people are, oh, it's self-defense. The police did not want to arrest this woman because he was like, yeah, there's laws and we got to figure out exactly what happened, because they were trying to infer the stand your ground law. The stand your ground law in Florida, where you can, if you're physically threatened, if you think your life is threatened, you have the right to defend yourself. However, if somebody comes to your doorway and they clearly aren't there to kill you, they don't have any firearms whatsoever, and they're not breaking your windows, they're not kicking your door in, you don't fear for your life. I feared for my life. Something that the police use often and then murder black people. They'll pay for it when God gets a hold of them. I feared for my life. There was a gun. There's no gun. You're going to pay for that murder. You're going to pay for that because, Jesus, the Christ, Yeshua, is going to hold you accountable for murder. Murder one. And then lying, and then anybody who approves of that is also lying. Anybody who's in on these lies also lie. It's just you guys who are all with this, watching these police officers lie in court, and then you're backing them up. Yeah, you're in trouble. But this woman, of course, they're going to try to say, oh, she was in fear of her life. If she was in fear of her life, then why did she hit that woman's child? She went out of her way to hit this woman's child. To me, I'm telling you, what this white woman did was her and a lot of other white people, they're using the system to kill black people. That's what they're doing. They know that the police are not going to be quick to arrest him, and they know that some of them was going to get off on it. Look at the one lady who killed the 60-year-old man who was having a heart attack or something, and he was in a car accident, and this lady had nothing to do with the car accident, and she took off after the guy because she said he tried to run away. She gets out of her car, and the guy is having some type of, attack, and she shoots this guy dead and does not get arrested until there's an outcry about it. How does this happen? How is this possible where this lady is at home chilling and she just murders somebody that had nothing to do with anything with her? How does this happen? George Zimmerman case. That's how it happens. Once people see that they can get by with shooting black people and they'll get support, they'll just blatantly do it. They'll randomly do it. They'll randomly do it. And listen, I don't want to hear about black on black crimes because we know that that's a real issue. But we're talking about how black people are unprotected. See, when it comes to black on black crime, there's people who are out there committing crime. These youngsters and these people, that's what they want to do. Then there's us, the people who just want to be. We are not a part of them. They consciously get up and go create mayhem. I consciously get up and try to keep myself safe. There's a difference between them and us. Anyways, so the attacks on black people who are not protected is not like the Asians. The Asians have a whole law that protects them now. The Asians are federally protected. Black people are not federally protected. It's a hate crime now if you do something to an Asian. But they can do stuff to us. Oh, yeah, if you don't know that, you're also tripping. Asians can shoot you and get away with it too, like they shot that little girl in a grocery store. They also talk to us crazy. And they'll do stuff like speaking their own language, looking right at you. That just happened to me. Anyways, nobody's here, so I'm going to go ahead and go. But I just wanted to talk about that subject real quick. It's your boy Tone 202. Peace.